In the ancient city of Rajagaha, there lived a young man named Surya, who was known among his friends for having a quick temper and a sharp tongue. Though he was intelligent and capable, his anger often caused him trouble. He would easily blame others for his misfortunes, never stopping to consider his own role in what happened. One morning, after a disagreement with his older brother, Surya stormed out of his home. His face was red with frustration, his fists clenched, and his heart burned with bitterness. "He always thinks he's right," Surya muttered. "No one ever understands me. People are always against me. My brother is selfish, my friends betray me, and my neighbors talk behind my back." As he walked past the great monastery on the edge of the city, Surya noticed a crowd gathered beneath a large Bodhi tree. The Buddha had come to the city, and many people were sitting quietly around him, listening with peaceful expressions. Something about their calm presence made Surya pause. His anger was still fresh, but a part of him felt tired of the constant fighting in his life. With heavy steps, he joined the group and sat down near the edge, his heart still thumping in his chest. When the Buddha opened his eyes and looked around the circle, his gaze eventually fell upon Surya. The young man, unable to hold back his emotions, stood and said loudly, "Master, I'm tired of people. My brother doesn't listen to me. My friend turned his back on me, and everyone seems to wrong me in some way. The world is full of selfish people. Why do people always treat me unfairly?" The Buddha looked at him with eyes full of compassion, and after a long pause, he replied gently, "Before you blame others, my son, stop and look within." Surya was taken aback. "But I'm not the one who caused these problems. They are the ones who hurt me. Why should I look within when others are clearly to blame?" he insisted, his voice rising. The Buddha nodded calmly and said, "Let me tell you a story." The people around leaned in, and Surya, though still agitated, listened. "Once," the Buddha began, "a man was walking through a dense forest path when suddenly, out of nowhere, a sharp arrow flew through the air and struck him in the chest. The arrow was poisoned, and the man cried out in pain and fell to the ground. His companions rushed to his side. They knelt beside him, ready to remove the arrow and stop the bleeding. But the wounded man shouted, "Wait, do not touch the arrow yet." His friends looked confused. "Why?" they asked. The man replied, "First, I must know who shot the arrow. Was it a man or a woman? Was the shooter young or old? What kind of bow was used? What tribe does the shooter belong to? Was the intention to kill me or just to scare me?" His friends pleaded with him, "You are bleeding. We must act now or you will die." But the man insisted on having his questions answered before any help was given. And so, while waiting for answers that would never come, the man bled to death. The Buddha looked back at Surya, who sat still, his anger beginning to soften into curiosity. "Do you understand?" the Buddha asked. "This man died not because of the arrow alone, but because he delayed healing by focusing on blame." Surya lowered his eyes. The image of the man dying from his own stubbornness struck something deep inside him. The Buddha continued, "Blaming others may feel natural, especially when we are hurt. But when the mind is clouded with anger, it cannot see clearly. Instead of healing, we cling to the need to point fingers. But this delays our peace. Just like the man with the arrow, we become trapped by our questions, our assumptions, our ego. And in doing so, we deepen our own suffering." A soft breeze moved through the Bodhi tree's leaves as the silence lingered. Then the Buddha said, "A wise person first quiets the storm within their own heart. When something painful happens, they do not immediately say, 'Who did this to me?' Instead, they ask, 'What is this pain teaching me? How can I respond with wisdom?' Blame looks outward. Wisdom looks inward. Surya looked up at the Buddha, his voice now softer. But how do I stop myself from blaming? It happens so fast. The Buddha smiled. It begins with awareness. When you feel the fire of blame rising, stop. Take 3 deep breaths. Observe your own mind. Is it calm or is it hot with emotion? Then ask yourself, do I know the full story? Could there be something I am not seeing? Could I in any way have added to this situation? Often, when we pause, we realize that our anger may be based on assumptions. And when we truly understand, blame disappears like mist in the morning sun. At that moment, something shifted in Surya. For the first time in a long while, he did not feel like a victim of the world. He saw that part of his pain came not only from what others did, but from how he reacted to them. Perhaps his brother was not entirely selfish. Perhaps his friend had his own struggles. Perhaps the problem was not just outside, it was also inside. He bowed his head and whispered, "Thank you, Master. I will try to think before I blame." The Buddha looked upon him with kindness and said, "That is the beginning of wisdom. When you learn to see your own heart clearly, you will no longer be ruled by blame, and peace will come." From that day forward, Surya practiced mindfulness. Whenever anger rose within him, he paused, breathed, and reflected before speaking. Slowly, his relationships began to heal. He still faced challenges, but now, instead of blaming, he searched for understanding. And with each act of reflection, his heart grew lighter and his life more peaceful.